back, Fortune friends. We have only 2 decks left in this box. Just these 2 decks left. Let's see which one we want to do next. Let's do this one first. And let's crack it open. All right. In this one, we have Dis. Brobnar's back. And Saurians. We've got Lord Stone Silencer Garrus with a kind of alien turtle-looking Archon. Pretty cool. Let's pop this open and see what we got. Okay, dropping down the Archon card, we've got Saurians to begin with. We have the rare artifact, City Gates. Action, a friendly creature captures 1 amber. If that creature is a dinosaur, it captures 2 amber instead. We want to see some nice beefy Saurian creatures if possible. And we have Cincinnatus Rex. Wow, okay. That's our third one for this box. That's pretty cool. A 6-power creature with 4 armor. If there are no enemy creatures, destroy Cincinnatus Rex. Fight, you may exalt Cincinnatus Rex. If you do, ready each other friendly card. So obviously, since we have Brobnar in here, we want to see some good fight effects and some ways of using creatures off house if possible. So let's see if we can find that. We have the Callipygian Ideal, and upgrade with play, exalt this creature. This creature gains, you may spend amber on this creature as if it were in your pool. So we want to see some good captures and stuff we can use for that. Very cool. We have Philophosaurus, a 4-power creature with Reap. You may look at the top 3 cards of your deck, archive 1, add 1 to your hand, and discard 1. Pretty good for efficiency if you can keep him out. Need some things to protect him. We've got Centurion Stenopius, a 3-power, 2-armor creature. He gets +3 power for each amber on him, and play fight Reap, you may exalt him. So he has some survivability and probably be a great target for that Callipygian Ideal. Tri-Syrian Legionary is a 5-power, 1-armor creature with taunt, and play ward a friendly creature. A lot of creatures so far. Nice. And we have 2 of him. Very cool. Praefectus Ludo as well, a 5-power creature. With each other friendly creature gains destroyed, move each amber on this creature to the common supply. Great card to have. And we have a Legatus Raptor as well, which is great with that Cincinnatus Rex. It's a 4-power creature with 1 armor. And fight, you may exalt him. If you do, ready and use another friendly creature. So that'll be a great combo, being able to reuse that Cincinnatus Rex multiple times per turn, potentially. Chant of Hubris is an action card with an Amber Pip. Play, move 1 amber from a creature to another creature. You can shift some amber around. 2 of those. We have Axiom of Grisk, a action card with play, ward a creature, destroy each creature with no amber on it, gain 2 chains. Great to have a board wipe. Moving on to Dis, we have the Soul Fiddle artifact, which just enrages a creature. Great to disrupt those good Reap creatures on the opponent's side. We've got Gleeful Mayhem, an action card with an Amber Pip. For each house, deal 5 damage to a creature of that house. Good board control. Bloodshard Imp is a 2-power creature with, after a creature reaps, its controller must sacrifice it. Great to prevent reaps again. Evil Eye is an action card with an Amber Pip. Keys cost +3 amber during your opponent's next turn. And we have 2 of those. Not Finished With You is an action card with an Amber Pip. Play, shuffle any number of creatures from your discard pile into your deck. You can get multiple uses out of all those Saurian creatures. That's pretty cool. We have 2 of those. Wow. Misery Exploit is an action card with play. Gain 1 amber for each damaged enemy creature. We have a couple ways of spreading damage around, which is cool. We've got Malison, a 5-power creature with fight. You may move an enemy creature anywhere in its controller's battle line. Then, if it's on a flank, it captures 1 from its own side. Cool. Good disruption with the battle line there. Lilithal, 5-power creature with fight Reap, capture an amber. Festering Touch is an action card with an Amber Pip. Play, choose up to 2 creatures, deal 1 damage to each chosen creature. If that creature was already damaged, deal 3 damage instead. Yeah, we'd like some damage spreading with that Misery Exploit. Buzzle, a 3-power creature with Skirmish. And play fight, you may purge 1 of Buzzle's neighbors. If you do, ready Buzzle. Good fighter. On to Brobnar, of course. The rare upgrade Cyber Giant Rig with an Amber Pip. This creature gains at the end of your turn. This creature loses a +1 power counter. And play, fully heal this creature and give it a +1 power counter for each damage healed. So if we, get several turns somehow with our Cincinnatus Rex not dying, we could potentially heal it up and give it some +1 power counters too. So that could be a potential use for this, depending on what other Brobnars we might have. We have the Flex. Choose a ready friendly Brobnar creature, exhaust it, and gain Amber equal to half its power, rounding down the gain. So we want to see something huge here. Let's see a nice big Brobnar guy, please. But we have Radwarg, the artifact with an Amber Pip. After a creature reaps, if it's the first time a creature has reaped this turn, deal 2 damage to it. Not the best artifact, but let's see if we have a use for it. Ogopogo is a 6-power creature with, after Ogopogo attacks and destroys a creature, you may deal 2 damage to a creature. Good damage spreading. We have 2 of him. Little Rapscal, a 2-power creature with elusive, and creatures must fight when used if able. Can disrupt those reaps. Warrior's Refrain is an action card with an Amber Pip. Play, stun each creature with power 3 or lower. We have Tremor, stun a creature and each of its neighbors. We've got Shorty, a 4-power creature with Assault 4 and Reap and Raid Shorty. We got Ganger Chieftain, a 5-power creature with play. You may ready and fight with a neighboring creature. Great card. Oh, and we got two Volcanoes. Another deck with 2 Volcanoes, which deals 4 damage to each creature, and you get 2 chains. Not my favorite thing to see recurring in this box so far. I'm going to go ahead and do the counts, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's do the counts, starting with the creatures. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 creatures. A little bit below average from what we've seen. Looking at the Amber on the cards, I'm going to count this as an Amber because it gives us an Amber we can use in our pool. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have some damage spreading, so I'll say 9, 10, 11. Probably get at least 1 from this. 12, 13, 14. I'll say 13 to 14 because we may or may not play this. We have a lot of things that want to fight, but we also want to reap a little bit too. So depending, I'll say 13 to 14 for that. Let's look at Amber Control. So what we have that Amber Control. So I'll count that as 1 since we have some things that capture, like that artifact. So we'll say 1 for that. That doesn't prevent the Amber, so that's 2, 3 from the creatures. From the Amber cards, we've got 4, 5 so far. 6 Amber Control cards, pretty good. And then we'll look at the artifact control. This deck has no artifact control, I believe. Nothing that really stops an artifact or destroys one. I don't think, anyway, from what I recall. So that'll be a 0, which we've seen kind of consistently in this box. It's not the end of the world, but, depending on, what artifacts we go up against, this is another fighty deck, so a Quixel Stone will do us in, but those are rare, so that's just 1 card. Going on to creature control, anything that damages or destroys creatures. We have so that'll deal 2 damage after a fight, and that deals another 2 damage, so that's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 8 for against a reap creature. That could be a good creature control. 8, 9, 10, 11 creature control. So yeah, this is another deck that really wants to control the board, and it seems to be pretty good at it, considering it's got a good balance between creatures and creature control in general, and lots of good fight effects. So, you know, ideally our opponent doesn't have a board at all when we play this deck. Looking at efficiency, I believe we have one creature that increases our efficiency, and that's the Dilophosaurus. Lets us look at, displays 3 cards from the top of our deck and get an extra card into our archives, which is pretty nice. But on the other side of it, we have 2 cards that give us 2 chains apiece. So we have 1 positive card and 2 negative cards. So I'll say a -1 for our efficiency. For our recursion, we have the 2 not finished with use that get us a lot of creatures back. Be really good to keep a board presence. Basically gives us 2 runs of our good Saurian creatures. Our Saurian creatures seem to be our best house right now, and we can kind of recur those if we get them later on. So we want to get these mid to late game and get those cards back, ideally, when our deck is thinned, so we can play them all again at once. Maybe get that Cincinnati Rex out a couple times. So we have 2 there. Do we have any other things that recur? Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. Nothing in there. And I don't think any creatures really recur. The Ganger Chieftain recurs, I guess, another friendly creature. Ready, or actually, no, it lets us ready and fight with a creature, so not really recursion. Okay, so 2 recursion, it's something. And then disruption, things that prevent our opponent from or playing cards or using cards in their hand, or just things that discard cards. So no creatures that do that. And here we've got nothing there. And finally, that could be a bit of disruption. I'll say 1. That's more creature control. So 0. 0 for disruption. Okay, so looking at this, I feel like this is a decent deck. It's got Brobnar in it, which, you know, inherently makes me think that it's going to be worse. But I could see it being in the 60s, maybe low 60s. It's got that Cincinnati Rex and a really good Saurian, so I feel like that's going to really pull it up. So I'm going to guess, I'm going to give it a 64. I think this is going to be a 64. I might be surprised because there's some synergy here with that good fight effects and stuff like that. And potentially the Legatus Raptor, if I don't get it with the Cincinnati Rex, obviously, could be used along with the Brobnar creatures to kind of ready and use them again until Cincinnati comes back out. So, and then we got good ways like the Callipygian Ideal of using the amber that's on our creatures and protecting it, right? Because we have the Callipygian Ideal, and we can move amber off of creatures as well. So we have a couple ways to handle that as well. And we have a Ludo in there too, I believe, right? We had at least one Perfectus Ludo and some ways to ward and all that stuff. So we've got some decent protection as well for all that amber. So yeah, with that, I'm going to stick with the 64. So yeah, let's go to my my desktop and see what we got. Welcome back to my desktop. Yep, we are here. We have the link copied, and we're just going to go ahead and import that deck. I said a 64 is what I'm locking in. It had some really good stuff in that Saurian house. I think that Saurian house was the best. I think it had like 8 creatures in that Saurian house alone, which is really nice with how powerful Worlds Collide Saurian is. But, you know, not just inherently having that Brobnar in there, but the disc also kind of lacking on anything super interesting. It had the not finished with use, which are nice to support that Saurian house, but nothing else really exciting in the disc. And then of course Brobnar, having a few creatures, but nothing very exciting. So I'm putting in a 64. Go ahead and make your guess now. Let's see what we've got. Here we go. 65. I was 1 off. Hey, I was pretty close. We're getting better. We're getting pretty good at guessing pretty close here. Looking at this deck really benefited off of the synergy. It didn't get any anti-synergies, which, you know, there's a lot going on for the synergy there. For Amber, we lost a lot because the Legatus Raptor, Callipygian Ideal, and Cincinnati Rex are very heavy exalting cards. You really want to put a lot of Amber on either the creatures themselves or the creature with the Callipygian ideal upgrade, right? And it's a risky thing inherently. We have that one Prefectus Ludo, which will help us prevent anything bad from happening to those creatures. But again, he's a creature that can be destroyed first, so it's a little tough to guarantee that nothing bad will happen. But in any case, for the expected amber, nothing is subtracting from that, which is good. Legatus Raptor only adds a little bit, and our biggest contributor is the Misery Exploit, apparently, because we do have quite a few things that can add up amber, so it could end up being quite a big card for us, Misery Exploit, in this deck. Speed, like we said, we called it a -1, but it looks into it a little bit more. It also has Axiomic Risk on here. We forgot to include that. It gives us a chain as well for a board wipe, but it's always usually, you get 2 chains, but it's always usually worth it. I mean, if you're going to play this, you're going to be ahead. So I think that's okay. We have pretty high board power. We have Not Finished With You for recursion, no disruption, no artifact control again, and a bit of creature control. Everything that we talked about is creature control as well. So looking at our synergies and anti-synergies, we have the Tri-Syrian Legionary has a 50% with Not Finished With You, so we can get extra uses out of those words. That's pretty nice. We have the, let's see, anything else? So the Volcano is always going to give us a negative synergy since we have lots of 4 power or lower creatures. It's just the way it is, and we've gotten several decks with 2 Volcanoes. Is not great to see, I could say. Warrior's Refrain, we have a few creatures with 3 power or less, so Warrior's Refrain will stun those. That's an anti-synergy. We have a lot of synergy with that City Gates rare, though, because we have so many dinosaurs. So City Gates will be a main player in keeping our opponent off key. We're probably going to be playing Saurians a lot. What we might end up doing, actually, now that I think about it, is a lot of these things we don't really need, and we might get a good use of this Buzzle in purging a lot of our unneeded disc creatures here. So we actually only have Lilithal Malison, but I could see using Buzzle to purge these 2, so at least we have less things to get in the way of getting Saurian cards. It might be a strategy. We could potentially purge, I mean, you can purge anything, right? You can purge any creature next to him, so you could also purge some of your unneeded Brobnar guys. You could purge your Shorty. Shorty's not bad. Little Rabskull, you can get rid of Little Rabskull. Yeah, so I mean, anything that's not needed, you can purge it out and kind of get things that are more useful. But yeah, City Gates is great. Anything else named out? Cybergiant Rig stands out because we have a lot of things with good fight. So Cybergiant Rig on that Cincinnatus Rex could be huge as well. Rogwarg is going to be a -1 because we have some good reaps, but we have things with high total armor. We have Cincinnatus Rex, he's got 4 armor, so but he's not going to want to reap. He's a fighter, so not the greatest of synergies there. And then going down below, it just has Little Rabskull as a positive synergy because it's got some good fight effects around. But I don't know, honestly, Little Rabskull, I just use it usually. I set it out to just be a nuisance for a turn for my opponent, and then find a way to destroy it on my next turn, or pretty quickly thereafter, run it into something, or just destroy it on my own. So it's usually like a 1, maybe 2 turn disruption. If my opponent doesn't destroy it, I try to destroy it. And it's easy because I have this Volcano, which can just destroy all of my creatures, except for, I have a lot of big Saurian guys here, so, but I mean, a lot of them are 4 power. So yeah, it's a bad card to have overall. I'd rather have something else. And the Ragwarg is not great. It also, I mean, against like a Shadows deck or something that has no armor, something that, the small plinks of damage really add up. It could be good. I think 1 is the right number to have. So overall, I think it's good. I think, this is an interesting deck. I would probably try this deck out and see how it runs. But yeah, looks good. All right, well, what'd you guys guess? Go ahead and leave a comment down below with your guesses, and I appreciate you all watching. Leave a like if you can, and if you want to see more of this, please subscribe. Everyone have a good day. Bye-bye.